The Charity Gala at the Riverside Grand Hotel sparkled with champagne glasses and diamond necklaces. Marcus Wellington, tech mogul and venture capitalist worth $3 billion, held court in the center of the ballroom, his booming laugh echoing off the crystal chandeliers. Another quarter, another record profit, he announced to the circle of admirers surrounding him. His silver cufflinks caught the light as he gestured grandly. That's what happens when you're willing to make the hard decisions others won't. At the edge of the room, near the service entrance, stood Elena Rodriguez. She'd been Marcus's executive assistant for 12 years, managing his impossible schedule, screening his calls, and enduring his volcanic temper. Her daughter Sophia, 22 and fresh out of nursing school, had come to help serve drinks, a favor to the catering company her mother had recommended. Sophia moved through the crowd with practiced grace, offering champagne flutes from her silver tray. She didn't notice Marcus's eyes tracking her movements until he stepped directly into her path. Well, well, Marcus said, his voice dripping with disdain. Elena's little charity project all grown up. Tell me, did you actually graduate, or did mommy buy your diploma too? Sophia's cheeks burned. I graduated summa cum laude, Mr. Wellington. With honors. How touching, Marcus sneered. Another mediocre mind convinced they are special. He turned to his companions. This is what happens when we lower standards, gentlemen. Participation trophies and safe spaces. Elena appeared at her daughter's side, her hand trembling slightly as she touched Sophia's arm. Sophia, why don't you check on the kitchen? No, no, let her stay, Marcus said, his eyes glinting with malice. I want everyone to hear this. You know what I told Elena when she asked me to write Sophia a recommendation letter? I said absolutely not. I don't put my name on mediocrity. The nearby conversations had stopped. People were staring. In fact, Marcus continued, emboldened by his audience, I told Elena that if she wanted her daughter to succeed in this world, she should teach her the same lesson I learned. The world doesn't care about your feelings. It rewards strength, cunning, and the willingness to crush your competition. Sophia's voice came out steady despite her anger. Is that what you call strength, Mr. Wellington? Humiliating people who can't fight back. Marcus's face darkened. You dare speak to me that way? Your mother should have taught you respect along with her sob stories. That's enough, Elena said quietly, but with steel in her voice. Sophia, let's go. Oh, Elena's grown a spine. Marcus laughed. After 12 years of yes, sir, and right away, sir, she finally has an opinion. He stepped closer, his voice dropping to a menacing whisper loud enough for others to hear. You're both nothing. You exist because I allow it. Remember that. Sophia felt her mother's grip tighten on her arm. They walked away with as much dignity as they could muster, while Marcus's laughter followed them. I in the service corridor, Sophia turned to her mother, tears of rage streaming down her face. Mom, how can you work for that monster? Elena's expression was unreadable. Because, Mija, sometimes you need to be close to your enemies to truly understand them. And sometimes, you need to wait for the right moment. What do you mean? I mean that Marcus Wellington is about to learn a very expensive lesson about consequences. 3 weeks later, Marcus sat in his corner office overlooking the city skyline, reviewing quarterly projections. His personal phone, the one only his inner circle had access to, buzzed with a message from an unknown number. You should check your company email. The one you think is private. Someone who knows. Frowning, Marcus opened his laptop and accessed his private email account, the one he used for his most sensitive communications. His blood ran cold, the inbox was empty. Completely empty. Years of emails, gone. His hands shook as he called his IT director. Harrison. My private email account has been wiped. Every single message. I need them recovered now. Sir, I'll look into it immediately. 20 minutes later, Harrison called back, his voice trembling. Mr. Wellington, the emails weren't deleted. They were forwarded. All of them. To multiple email addresses. What addresses? Whose? The SEC, the Department of Justice, the IRS, and several major news organizations. The room spun. Marcus gripped his desk. Those emails contained everything, the insider trading tips, the tax evasion schemes, the bribes to foreign officials, the blackmail material he'd collected on rivals. His entire empire of calculated cruelty, all documented in his own words. How, he whispered. How is this possible? The security logs show the access came from your executive assistant's credentials, sir. Elena Rodriguez. Elena. Of course. 12 years of perfect access, watching, waiting, documenting. His phone rang, his lawyer. Then his CFO. Then his publicist. The news was already breaking. Federal agents were preparing warrants. Board members were calling emergency meetings. Investors were fleeing. Marcus tried calling Elena, but her number was disconnected. He drove to her modest apartment across town. She'd moved out days ago, the landlord said. Vanished, desperate, he hired private investigators. It took them a week to track Elena and Sophia down to a small town in New Mexico, where they'd apparently relocated and changed their phone numbers. Marcus made the 8-hour drive himself, arriving at a neat adobe house with a garden. He knocked, and Elena answered, looking somehow younger, lighter. "Please," Marcus said, and the word felt foreign in his mouth. "Please. You have to help me. Tell them it was a misunderstanding. Tell them I never meant those things. I'll give you anything, money, a promotion, a house, anything." Elena studied him with calm eyes. "You want me to lie for you? I'm begging you. They're going to destroy me. Everything I built, everything you built on the backs of people you crushed." Elena interrupted gently. "The competitors you bankrupted with insider information. The employees you cheated with illegal tax schemes. The regulators you bribed. I can change. I can be better. Can you?" Elena asked. "Because 3 weeks ago, you humiliated my daughter in front of 100 people for no reason except that you could. That's who you are when you have power, Marcus. You use it as a weapon." "I was wrong," Marcus said, tears streaming down his face, genuine tears, perhaps for the first time in decades. "I was so wrong. Please." Sophia appeared behind her mother. She looked at Marcus with something like pity. "Mr. Wellington, do you know what I learned in nursing school? I learned that when someone has an infected wound, you can't heal it by covering it up. You have to clean out all the poison first. Sometimes that process is painful, but it's the only way to save the patient." "I'm not trying to save you," Elena added. "I'm trying to save all the people you would have hurt in the future. The young entrepreneurs you would have destroyed. The employees you would have exploited. The rules you would have broken." Marcus fell to his knees on the porch. "Please. I'm begging you." "You're begging now," Elena said softly. "Just like all those people begged you for mercy over the years. Do you remember what you told them? You told them the world doesn't care about feelings. You told them it rewards strength and crushes weakness." She stepped back and began to close the door. "Elena, wait, you're going to face justice, Marcus. Real justice. And maybe, if you survive it, you'll finally understand what strength actually means. It's not the power to hurt people. It's the courage to face consequences for your actions." The door closed. 6 months later, Marcus Wellington sat in a minimum security federal prison, having pleaded guilty to multiple felonies. His empire was dissolved, his fortune seized, his name synonymous with corporate corruption. He spent his days in the prison library, finally reading books he'd always dismissed as useless: philosophy, ethics, stories of redemption. He wrote letters of apology to the hundreds of people he'd wronged, not because it would help his case, his lawyer had advised against it, but because he was finally beginning to understand the weight of his actions. One day, a letter arrived for him. It was from Sophia. "Mr. Wellington, my mother didn't want me to write this, but I felt you should know. Your actions destroyed many lives, but they also revealed the truth that will now protect countless others. New regulations have been passed because of your case. Whistleblower protections have been strengthened. People who thought they were powerless now see that justice is possible. I don't forgive you. That's not my place, and you haven't earned it. But I hope you use whatever time you have left to understand something my mother taught me. True power isn't the ability to harm others without consequence. True power is the choice to help others when you have nothing to gain. Maybe someday you'll understand that. Sophia Rodriguez, RN. Marcus folded the letter carefully and placed it in his notebook, next to all the others he'd collected. Reminders of the man he'd been and the man he needed to become. He looked out the small window of his cell at the sky beyond. For the first time in his life, Marcus Wellington felt something he'd never allowed himself to feel before: genuine remorse, and beneath it, the faint stirring of hope that he might still, somehow, become worthy of redemption. But he also understood that redemption wasn't something others could grant him. It was something he would have to earn, day by day, choice by choice, for however many days remained. Cruelty wielded from a position of power may seem invincible, but it plants the seeds of its own destruction. Those we dismiss as powerless are often watching, documenting, and waiting for justice. The higher you climb on a ladder of exploitation, the farther you have to fall, and when that fall comes, the only ones who might catch you are the very people you once trampled. True strength lies not in the ability to hurt others without consequence, but in facing the full weight of our actions with honesty and remorse. In the end, we all answer for the way we treated others when we had the power to choose kindness.